Hello everyone, myself Abhijit. I'm here to share my project, which was built using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It was constructed under 24 hours, and it has no involvement of React framework or component in that. I'll quickly share my screen to share the problem details of the project. As you can see in the problem statement, it states that the web app is a store management system for a pharmacy. It lets you track orders, inventory, and customers. By the way, the web application name is Caffeine. As it says, it tracks orders, inventory, and customers. You and then we were supposed to create admin panel from scratch, which holds the functionality of login page, order listing, product listing, and user listing. The web app was not mobile responsive. That means no involvement of media queries in here. Uh, we were supposed to only use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery for the development of application. As I said, the web application contained four pages, that is login, order listing, product listing, and user listing. I'll quickly jump on to the project architecture. As you can see in here, the schema derives the project architecture in here. It holds the admin panel functionalities like login, order listing, product listing, user search. In our login logout, we have used the local storage and session functionality to maintain the current user's login creds. In order listing, product listing, and user search, we have used API called data fetch. That is, we are providing the URL for API call, and accordingly, we are fetching the data in the particular in their respective web pages. We have provided filter fetch functionalities in each of the pages, wherein a user can manipulate checkboxes or the search functionality, and accordingly, will fetch the data or render the data on the web pages. So this was the basic functionality, basic architecture of the application. I'll now move ahead on the uh, front end, that is the functionality of the application. First, I'll log out. In here, as you can see, this is the login page. This is the if the user is not logged in, then this will be the landing page for logged out users. So after logging in, as you can see, if I enter some wrong credentials, the comparison credentials are the username and the password must be same. So this is the only condition we were supposed to do. So if we enter wrong credential, then we'll get an alert that please enter valid credentials. If we enter same credentials of username and password, that is ABHI, then we will be able to log in to the web page. So this will be the ultimate landing page for the all the logged in for all logged in credentials. Whenever we log in, we will be redirected to the orders page. In here, in this page, we will be able to see all the orders placed by the users in on the Caffeine's end. So whatever data view we will be seeing in here in the table, we are getting it from the API call. We are fetching it in here by API calls. We do have search functionalities in here, filter functionalities in here. Uh, According to the filter functionality, our data will get manipulated and get rendered on the web page. So this is for the orders listing page. Similarly, for the product listing page, this derives us all the products available from the Caffeine's end, and it does have it's the same functionality like orders. Whatever it has separate API call, uh, and it will directly call the API and will fetch the data in here. And accordingly, it also has two filter functionalities also in here: expired and low stock. We do have certain condition to check to present the data in here, which I'll be discussing in the coding part. So it's the same thing. It's just there are two different things in here. The filter functionalities are limited for the products page, and the API URL is different as compared to the orders page. Similarly, for the users page in here, we do have users functionality. Just a minute, the data is taking time to get loaded. If you go to products, I believe my net is not working. It's connected. Yeah, it's fine. If you go to the users part, we can see our data get fetched. So for this also, we do have users API provisionally provided, and we just use that API call to fetch all the details of the users present for the that is caffeine send. This is the customer base for the caffeine. It do not have filter functionality for through checkbox. It does have filter functionality via the input box. In here we can input our string, input our value, and accordingly it will search based on the full names conditioning. In here full name, like we will check whether this whether the input which we provide in the input field match with the subset of that particular string or not. So if, for example, now CLE is a part of first records subset. Okay, it is a subset of first record full name. So we can just try CLE in here and see if things works. You can see it works. It filter few data compared to the subset we have provided at the in the input box, and accordingly the data will get rendered and present in this page. We do have logout functionality also in here. Before that, I would like to explain you one thing in here. Like we have used local storage for a purpose. For example, now since the user is logged in, so if we try to enter directly to the pages available on the web page, if we go to the order page, it will go to the order page now. Again, if you go to the product page, it will go to the product page, will jump out to the project page, product page. Similarly, for the users page, it will go to the user page. Once if the user has logged out, if the user has logged out and then he tries to do that, then it will go to the login page first, because the user is currently not logged in. I'm sorry. So for that reason, the user has to log in first, and then he'll be able to use the local storage functionality. That is when even if we close the browser and see, it will also work at that time. So if now, even if we try to log to the login page, it will directly land on the orders page. So this is the front end functionality of the project. Now I'll go to the backend functionality of the project. Use the source code of the project. As the project architecture derives, we have login, logout, order listing, product listing, user search. I have created CSS, JavaScript, and HTML file for every of this functionality. So for login, logout, there is a separate HTML, JavaScript, and CSS file. As you can see, it's been structured accordingly. In the HTML files, I have given just the schema, static schema. As you can see, there is no any detailed dynamic data present in here. As you can see, for log order HTML page, you can just see the table heading. You cannot see the table body content of the web page. That is derived dynamically via JavaScript functions, which I'll cover after discussing the HTML part. Similarly, for the product, it's the same. We have just changed the base of HTML is the same. We have just changed uh, the element values. For example, the product name in that order.html, it will be order, customer, or any other heading values. Now I'll jump onto the JavaScript part. I've created a base.js file wherein I have explicitly mentioned all the URLs, all the API URLs, so that we can call directly in the other JavaScript files. In here, in the base, I'm also checking two things: whether the user is already logged in or not, and accordingly, I am traversing through the project. Moving on to the login part. In the login part, as you can see, there are two fields and only login. So I'm just checking in here whether the username and password is same or not. And accordingly, what I'm doing is, at the same time, I'm creating a local data set where I'm storing the credentials of it, and accordingly, I'm maintaining a session of it. as you can see in here in the login form, I've used the document.ready function, that is jQuery function, for loading of pages. In this, after the user clicks on login form, it will see whether the username password are same or not, and accordingly on the success result it will set a local data to login and true, wherein login is the key and true is the functionality. Whether if if the keyword we get is login, in here in the base.js you can see, if if we get is login, then only we'll be able to proceed with the other pages. If not login, that is if we didn't if we don't get the local data as login, then whatever page we traverse, we will first get landed on the login.html page. So this is the first functionality implemented for the login page. Second thing, in the login page, what we are checking is, uh, yeah, we are first set, and then after login, we are redirecting to the order.html page. We also have one function, that is set login contents in here, which returns boolean value. That means is, if the get local data is login, then we have to replace the order, then we have to replace the login page to order.html. That means if it is already logged in and we are still trying to log in, then it will replace it to login.html, order.html, I'm sorry. Moving further to the order.js page. Now, for the basics, order.js, product.js, and user.js. That means all these three listing pages will have the same functionality. I'll discuss the crux of the application. Like, first, what it will do is it will check login. I've discussed the login part. That means it will check if the user is already logged in or not. If the user is already logged in, then it will directly jump on the page. It will not pop up the login page. It will directly go to the landing page, that is order page, after login. Then it will go to the get table content function. It is just above the get table content function call. In here, in get table content, for all the files, what it will do is it will first call the URL, which we have explicitly explicitly mentioned in the base.js files. So first it will call the the URL file. Based on the data we receive on the success result, we will, first of all, we are printing the element console.log. As you can see, if I inspect this, if you try and inspect this, in the console region, you will be able to see array of object elements. So all this we receive through the success result. Then whatever we get, we call the function show table content. In here, whatever we get first, we store it to all content array of elements, array of object, which we have explicitly declared in the base.js file. Then we call show table content. In show table content, there are two functions accordingly: setting table content and render table content. Setting table content, what it will do is, it will first check whether how many or all the checkbox are checked or not. First of all, it will check that whether this returns true or not. If true, then it will go to the if condition. So this will check whether the checkboxes are checked. In all content.length, that is whatever object array of object we are receiving, it must be greater than 0. Then only we'll be able to proceed by filtering. So in the filtering results, will be able to see that we are filtering all content filter depending upon the checkboxes selected. So whatever checkboxes we are selecting in here, new ID and value order status equals to new. That means if this return true and the value dot order dash status, that is the name of this statuses, are appropriate, then it will return true. That means it will get filtered down. So accordingly, our result will get filtered, and through it we'll be able to call render table data function. In this render table data function, what we are doing is, we are taking the t-body element of HTML that I've already mentioned in HTML part. As you can see in here, the t-body, the data table heading is already provided, but the t-body is empty. So what we are doing in here is we are fetching all the data dynamically via API call, and accordingly we are appending it. So this is DOM manipulation, the usage of DOM manipulation in here. So we are using the dynamic fetching by rendering the render data function. So whatever which we have selected in this, that only will get rendered and will be presented in this in the orders page. Same goes for the product page as well. It's the same structure. First it will check login, then it will go to get content. In the get content we have already provided the product URL as mentioned in the base.js file, the product URL as you can see in here. In the product URL, then after that we'll, after success result, we'll get the all content array of objects first. Then we'll go to the set table content, setting table content. It will check whether it will check whether these two checkboxes are checked or not, and accordingly will manipulate the data, and accordingly will fetch the data uh, via render data table function. So it's the same usage. We have used the same functionality again for the product page as well. Moving on to the users page. The user page functionality is also the same but a bit diverse. In here we are not using the filter function. The filter function, that is checkboxes, we are not using in here. We are using input box for filtering. Okay, so in here the condition was to check if in here the condition was to check if first input element contains at least two character or not. If not two characters, then it will pop up a message, please enter at least two characters. So this was the first functionality which we were supposed to implement. Second thing, we were supposed to check if we were supposed to check whether uh, on empty input field we get all the record or not. For example, now I have implemented the search functionality. We don't have anything as a subset for AB, so we can reset it and accordingly we'll get all the details. So this was another thing. So for implementation on the coding part, I'll discuss it with you. The same thing will goes. First, it will check login function as to whether user is already logged in or not. Then if it will go to the get content function. In the get content function, there is just one change in here. We are not calling the other two function as compared to order or product JS in here. Since there is no filter check in here, we are directly parsing the variables and accordingly we are fetching the data. So after successful result, we call the render table data function. In here, we parse all table content and then accordingly print via render table function. Print, that is show in the web page. In here there is one catch. We are doing a search content in here. What we are doing in here is, first, the condition is when the user clicks on submit button, that is the reset button, first it will check whether it's empty or not. If it's empty, then the render table content will get all the content variable, that is all the elements present. Then second, it will check if the input value length is greater than 1 or not. Greater than 1, in this case it means it will show all the results based on the character search. For example, if we type el, then it will show all the results having the substring el in the full name column. So that is one functionality in here. uh, and the last functionality is logout functionality. After logging out, it will pop up to it will land on the login page and it will check. And what it will do is it will clear all the storage, local storage variable. As you can see in the after login function, logout functionality, local storage will get cleared. And every time we try to log into different pages like order, product and all, it will log in into uh, it will land on the login HTML page first. So that's the condition we are checking in here. Now jumping on to the questions, uh, there are three questions which we have to explain in detail. First stage, how did you implement the filter functionality on the order listing page? For the order listing page, we'll go to the order listing page JS again. We'll again go to the order function order. So in order functionality, as I've already mentioned, what first we are using is we are using the check login functionality. If the check login functionality, now check login functionality is using local storage functionality in here, which will check if the user is already logged in or not, and accordingly it will land on the page. If it's logged out, then it will log, even if you try to log into order.html page, then it will directly go to the login page first. After getting the table content, get table content is the function. What it will do is it will call the URL from the base.js declared file. In that we'll get all content result, that is result will be an array of object, and accordingly we'll call the show table content function. That is, we will try to manipulate the data and fetch the data to present to be to showcase that in order.html page. In this, I've used two important functions, that is setting table content and render table content. Setting table content, what it will do is first it will check all the prop check, that is, or if the checkbox is given in mention in the web page, whether it is checked or not. So it will check whether the checkboxes are checked or not. Accordingly, it will return Boolean value on these functions. And similarly, in the if condition, we are checking if the length we are getting of array of object greater than 0 or not. And accordingly, we'll be filtering those value depending upon the checkboxes condition. So as I'll explain the one part, like we are applying the filter logic in here on the basis of condition, whether we are getting true value from the checkboxes, and where we are getting the value dot order status equals to the name given explicitly in the web pages, or the API call value from value attribute of order status, value of order status attribute. So accordingly, we will fetch the details and render it to the filter function. And in via through this, whatever data it's been returning true, it will get stored in current content array of object variable. Now this current content array of an object will be parsed through render table data. What it will do is it will go to T body of the HTML page, and through DOM manipulation, it will append the table row, that is whatever data we are receiving through this current content, we will map those elements and accordingly fetch on the table row. So this was the first implementation for order.js. It same thing goes to the product.js as well. It's just the difference will be the API call will be different. Second question is user search in functionality. User search functionality is also the same. It's just one difference. We are not using checkboxes. We are instead using input variable in here, input box in here, text box. So we'll go to the users.js first. The user, the HTML will be the same. The static content will be there. First, we'll check on the check login function. If it's true, then it will land on this page. If it's false, then it will land on the login page. Then in the get content function, I've also, as I mentioned, what it will do is it will check, it will go to the URL and accordingly present the result. And based on that, we'll call the render table data. In here, we are just using one function because we are not checking the checkboxes in here. So in here, what it will do is the condition in here first is it will check whether anything is what's been inputted in the input variable field. So it will check if there's nothing in here, then all the data will get presented. If it's something in here but only one character mentioned, then it will pop up as a message, that is it's explicitly mentioned in here that alert, please enter two character. But if the length is greater than 2, that is if the length is greater than 1, that is 0 and 1 as in string indexes, then what it will do is it will call the URL search URL plus input val. Now what it means is if you go to the base URL, if we see this search URL, you will be able to see we have a question mark full name equals to something. So we'll be appending the value in here. If we go, like for example, now, if we go in here and see, if we type something, for example, EC, full name equals to EC, that is a substring of what we are searching. So we'll get one result, appropriately one result. If we try to run the same thing in the user page as well, EC, we must get one result out of it. So if we see EC, see, you'll be getting Joshua, Gatliff. Similarly, we'll be getting the same in here. So it's the same thing. The search functionality will work automatically. It's just we have parsing the data through URL, and accordingly it will search. So this is the user functionality in here. It will, according, for example, give one more example. For example, I type EL, I get many records. Similarly, I've typed EL in here. I get many records, 4, 5, 6, 12 IDs. I can check 4 IDs present. I can see 12 IDs present. I can see 12, 6 IDs present. I can see 5 IDs present. So it works. It works according to that. Moving on to the next question. Hoisting in JavaScript. So hoisting in JavaScript, JavaScript has a functionality where we can implement the functionality first and then declare. So it's the same. Whatever we can implement, we can declare it later. So that's called hoisting. For example, if I create a variable check var equals to 15, and see if I later on declare it check var, then it must work. That is check var. So if we try to run this, you can see the result in here, 15. So this works. So that means we can declare our variable after the implementation of it. So that's called hoisting. We can implement the same thing via function as well. For example, we can create a check multiplication function. We will call two elements from it, and then we'll declare the function check mul and see x comma y, return x into y. If we try this console.log, we will be able to see the same thing again. It's taking time, just a minute. In the meanwhile, we can check whether we have given everything correctly or not. Yeah, as you can see in here, we get the result 10. So this is called hoisting. Anything which, in other words, whatever we are implementing, we can declare it afterwards. There's no harm in it. So that's called hoisting. There's no any questions left. I'll end this here. Thanks a lot. Thank you for bearing. Thank you for the patience. Thank you.